Okay, and now some late show comedy, and we've got a great stand-up guy for you tonight. Canadian viewers might well recognise him because he's just competed in the Great Canadian Laugh-Off, or is that Laugh-Off, in Toronto, and he's emceed a couple of shows for Paulie Shaw as well. In the real world, he's a comedian, writer, and self-proclaimed geek. And the poor devil comes from Alberta in Canada, a province that I happen to know very well myself, as it happens. Canadians in the real world will know him as Lyle Bateman, but here in Second Life, we welcome him to the Late Show as Elron Priestman.
Thank you very much, and thanks to Ham and Blarney Stone for having us down here and doing this tonight. It's a great little thing going on. So I want to start off on kind of a serious note here for the show tonight. Today would actually be my mother's 65th birthday had she not passed away earlier this year. So I've actually been dedicating a lot of my shows to her and telling a few stories about her off the top. So I'm going to do that tonight as well. She's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. A little too creative for her own good, though, and ours, I think, as well. I think every parent has these sayings that they go through when their kids are misbehaving to kind of break the stress up. I know one of the ones I've heard is, if you kids don't settle down, I'll hit you so hard I'll knock you into next week. Well, my mother had a few of those, but they were just a little more creative than that. One of her favorites was, if you kids don't settle down, I'll rip out your arm and beat you with the bloody end. Yeah. Another one of her favorites was, if you kids don't settle down, I'll pick you up by your heels and beat your head against the sidewalk. So yeah, it really doesn't matter what else is going on in a kid's life. That's going to screw with your head, really. But as an adult, I'm older now, I've got some experience, I've got some perspective on things. I can look back on it and I can realize that I wasn't the easiest kid to raise. I've pretty much been a smartass since day one. And I'll give you an example that illustrates this perfectly. I was 3 years old when this story took place. I was out playing in the yard, and my mom looked away for a second, and I managed to wander off. She caught up with me about a block later and grabbed me and spun me around and yelled, "Why did you run away?" And I remember very clearly looking up into her eyes with this innocent look on my face and saying, "I didn't run away, Mommy. I walked." So yeah, as an adult, with perspective and experience and hindsight, I can look back on that situation and say, if that's my kid standing there talking to me like that, I'm picking the little bugger up by his heels and beating his head against the sidewalk. So I got to say, I cut my mom some slack about that, and it's very good to be a part of her, and she is the reason that I'm doing this tonight. One of the other things that's happened in my life recently is I just bought a new car. That was a ton of fun, I got to tell you. It's a great little car. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this or not. It's a Pontiac Wave. It's pretty small. In fact, as a kid, I'm pretty sure I played with bigger Hot Wheels. It's pretty good, though. It actually comes with a lot of options. I went for the crevice tool and the upholstery attachment. I decided against the pet grooming tool because, quite frankly, my cat's scared of vacuum cleaners anyways, so wouldn't work too well. But I got to tell you, my favorite attachment, or my favorite option I got with this was the built-in blades, because now it doubles as a riding lawnmower, and that's really useful for me. Well, thanks a lot, folks. I appreciate you listening to me tonight.